Hello, Tom.
Hey.
Got a quick question about Lady Bird.
Okay.
Does that require an attorney, or how does that work?
So a ladybird deed is a tool to avoid probate on real estate. It could be your home, your vacation home, your rental property, your vacant land, your commercial property. You can do a ladybird deed even if there's a mortgage on the property. There is no law that requires that a lawyer prepare that ladybird deed for you, Jim, but it is certainly our recommendation that you have an attorney do it for you to make sure that it gets done properly. What do you think, Chrissy?
Yes, I agree. Here's the thing. Deeds, you're talking about a deed is the key document about your piece of property or your homestead. You want to make sure that it's right.
Exactly.
And so we would highly recommend an attorney that does real estate that would do this deed for you. Is there a legal requirement in the state of Florida that you have to have an attorney prepare a ladybird deed? No. However, for your best interest to make sure that there is no title issues in the future, problems with legal descriptions, names of or how the deed, who owns what, and is there rights of survivorship, you need to make sure that it is right.
Chrissy, in my 40 years of law practice, I've looked at a lot of homemade deeds. As soon as I see it's a homemade deed, I know there's at least a 50% chance that it was done improperly.
Correct.
Now, if the person that did that deed is still alive and around, hey, we'll have an opportunity to fix it. But if that person is now deceased, well, now we got a problem.
Correct. Yes. So
deeds look deceptively easy to prepare. I mean, you could find a form on the internet. You can find a form out at the office supply store. They look deceptively easy to prepare, but there are all kinds of ways that you can make a mistake on them, not even knowing what you don't know about preparing deeds.
Correct. And I think that, Tom, what you just said, of all your years of practice and all the deeds that you've reviewed, I would say that it's probably higher than 50%, meaning when you're looking at a homemade deed, very likely over the years, it's probably more than 50% that were not done correctly. And again, like you said, if the parties are still alive, there's an opportunity to correct. If they're not, it makes it more challenging.
By the way, Jim, we have free booklets on easy ways to avoid probate on your home or how to avoid probate on your home using a ladybird deed. If you'd like that free booklet, you can call the Olsen Law Group anytime at 407-423-5561. We'll get that free booklet out to you, how to avoid probate on your home using a ladybird deed. You can also order that booklet through our website, olsenlawgroup.com. Jim, have we answered your question for you, or do you have any other questions for us?
I appreciate it. No, but I can tell that I need to have an attorney to do it right.
Yes,
thank you, Jim. Good move. That's what we highly recommend. And when you think about people want to avoid probate because it's expensive,
right,
and it takes a long time. And so what you pay to have a ladybird deed is so much less expensive compared to having to go through the probate in that home if you don't do a ladybird deed.
Correct, because when we say the hassles of probate, we're talking about not only the hassle of the cost, which is very significant, it is very expensive for probate, it's also the time.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been doing ladybird deeds in our office, Olsen Law Group, for a long time. And I got to say, it's pretty satisfying when we did a ladybird deed for a client, and that client eventually passes away, and the kids call us up and say, "Tom, you did a ladybird deed for my mom. She's passed away. What do you need to do?" Well, record her death certificate in the public records, and that home automatically belongs to you. No probate required, and you can just tell how relieved they are that it's done.
we receive those calls in our office and as individual attorneys every single week.
Yeah.
Every week. Every week, I get multiple calls where people are thanking me because the process was easy and it works the way it should. And this applies for every county in Florida.
Yeah.
So that, again, no matter where you are in Florida, if you have a piece of real estate that you want to make sure you avoid probate, one of the simplest ways is the Ladybird deed. Why? Because you can leave it to children, friends, other family members, charities, or even a trust.
People, we talk about avoiding probate because it's expensive and takes a long time. Compare that to the Ladybird deed. So if mom passes away and no Ladybird deed was done and the kids want to sell her home, we're talking about them not being able to sell her home for months and months and months.
Oh, possibly a year.
Yeah. If we do a Ladybird deed for somebody and mom passes away, it takes 10 days to get her death certificate, a couple of days to record it in the public records, a couple of weeks after mom passes away, they're in a position where they can sell the home.
Correct.
And that's what most kids want to do. They want to sell mom and dad's home and cash out and go their own way.
Correct. They're ready to go within weeks versus months and, again, potentially a year or more.
Folks, we have free booklets on Ladybird deeds and how to avoid probate on your home, and we offer free initial consultations to talk about your estate planning and setting up a way for you to avoid probate. If you want to take advantage of those, contact the Olsen Law Group at 407-423-5561 or go through our website, olsenlawgroup.com. We'd love to meet with you. We can do that initial consultation and talk to you about it in person or over the phone, your choice. We're going to make it very convenient for you. Reach out to Olsen Law Group next week to have your estate planning done and get your Ladybird deed done. 407-423-5561.